websites when I was taking calculus a couple years ago was this one right here. Calculus is somewhere. Anyway, so they have all the classes here. So I would use this to learn how to do some things. Like it's got some really complicated stuff in here. Anyway, so this one, there is a link to I put it on the paste long time ago, right here, Symbol Lab. I don't know what SY is, but so if I typed in, x squared plus 3x plus 4 equals 0, right? That's an equation or a function. You can change it to a function if you want. And you press go, and it'll show you step by step one way to solve it, right? Maybe it shows two, but there's multiple ways. This is not the only way. Anyway, so this is actually a good website to check your work. It does get a little detailed. So for example, this particular one does not have any x-intercepts. So it should have no solutions as my answer for this one. It takes a little while to figure out. Look, it tells you the vertex, the focus, the directory. There's some other stuff in here that you might know in the future. If I put -4, I bet you it'll have some x-intercepts.
Yeah, I noticed last night that the videos for Monday and Tuesday were the exact same.
Oh, you know what, Travis, I did get your email last night and then I forgot to check this morning. Yeah, I'll take care of that when you guys are practicing. Sorry, thank you for that.
It's because of that I didn't bother doing it.
Yeah. And I definitely have all the videos, so I just probably put the wrong link, right?
Yep, for both.
Cool, thank you. So for sure, guys, and ladies, make sure to check out this website. Today, we're just going to do a practice of a little stuff, and that's about it. So let's just get right to it. I'll do some notes, and then you guys will post your practice. So let me get Remember, all of these answers can be done with Desmos in a split second. But that's not the point, right? The point is not what is the answer, it's how is the answer. Let me press plus. Okay. I'm going to do a graph. I mean, not a graph paper, just a regular paper. So today I'm going to, we're going to do the quadratic formula together, and then more importantly, we're going to know when we use it and when we don't have to use it, okay? So remember the quadratic formula so the quadratic formula finds the x's. It finds the x-intercepts or the solutions, right? It finds x's, right? Finds x's or x-intercepts. Depends. If it's a function, it's x-intercepts. If it's an equation, it finds the x's. And the quadratic formula is written this way. The opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by double of a. Now, the way I taught you guys a couple days ago, I split it up into two fractions. This is one fraction. All right. I actually, just me, you don't have to, right? You could do it this way. This is one fraction. I like to do it in two fractions because this is it's like a bite size. They're the same. Two fractions. So it's like two parts. And the reason I like this one better for me, you don't have to. Usually we have this done already. usually we have this for the, the axis of symmetry, right? So therefore, I only have to do half of it. And if I already did this part, I already know the answer here. So really, really, all I'm really worried about is this little piece right here. And this to me is easier, just to do a little bite sizes. Okay. Like I said, you could try both methods and see which one works for you. There is no right way, wrong way. It's whatever works for you. Okay. Oh, and these are the x-intercepts, right? X equals, right? Okay. All right. So let's do one. Let's do a simple one. All right. Let's put x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Okay. And so we were like, okay, we're trying to solve this, right? This is not x-intercept, it's just a solve. So first, is it a standard form? Yes. So it is standard form. That means we can use the quadratic formula, right? So now let's write all the letters. A equals 1. If there's no number, it's 1. B equals -5. And C equals -6. All right, now let's plug everything in. Now, this is up to you guys. Would you rather do the two fractions or the one fraction? It doesn't matter. Just we'll go either, whichever one, whoever decides right now. Do you want to do the one fraction method or the double fraction or two fraction method? What would you like? Anybody? You steer the boat today. So what would you rather do? Anybody? Any of you 13 people?
Two fraction method.
All right, two fraction method. All right. So, thank you. Sorry. All right, two fraction method. The opposite of b, which will be 5, divided by double of a. You could put x equals if you want. Double of a, which is 1, plus or minus square root b squared. B is -5. But when you square it, it's going to turn into 25. But if you want, you can put negative. It doesn't matter. I get lazy. And I know when I square, it's going to be positive, so it doesn't matter. Minus 4 times, these are I like to put in parentheses. And this is double of A, okay? All right, I'm going to slide in. A is 1, and this one is 6, okay? I'm going to put in red the letters. Okay. All right, now we continue. 5 over 2 is half of 5. This right here equals 2.5, right? 2.5. Now you know the axis of symmetry. That means we're going to go to the right and left, right? A certain amount. All right, the square root, big old giant square root symbol. 5 squared is 25. Now, you got to multiply all of these 3 together so that you know your symbol. So we don't know if this is going to be a plus or minus. So you're basically going to multiply -4 times 1 times -6, and that equals positive 24. Therefore, since it's a positive, it's going to be a plus. If it was a negative, it would be a minus. Okay, 24 all over 2. Next, 2.5 plus minus the square root of 49 divided by 2. Notice the 2 don't divide yet, right? Don't divide yet, right? Can we divide the 49 by 2? No, because it's still inside the square root symbol, right? The 49. All right, 2.5 plus or minus 7. Yeah, square 7, 49 7 divided by 2. Now you could divide by 2. Okay? Now divide. So 2.5 plus 3.5 and 2.5 minus 3.5. All right, so my x-intercepts are going to be 6 and -1. Or my solutions, right? Right. Okay, so that's the quadratic formula. It seems like a lot of work, but it's all like little simple adding, multiplying work. It's not like really a lot of hard work. Now, I actually would have not done the quadratic formula for this one. I would have done this first. What times what is -6 and adds up to -5? What two numbers add up to -5 but somehow multiply to -6?
3 and -2.
All right, let's try that. 3 times
What?
-2 is -6. Check. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Oops. All right, let's try another one. Good one. Let's try another one. We want it to equal -5, right? Don't forget you can also multiply it by 1, the number by 1. Like for example,
why don't it just be like that? Like,
how about 6 and 1?
like, or 5 times.
Yeah, you want it to be 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be -6.
-6 times 1, -6, and then
Whoops.
5 times.
And
6 plus 1, -5.
There, that works, right? So that's going to be -6 here, -6 here, and then +1 here, and 1 here. Whoops, that's not supposed to be an x there. It's just supposed to be 1. So this is going to be x minus 6. Did I make a mistake? Yeah. And then x plus 1. What are the x-intercepts for this one? Or the solutions? What's going to go in here?
6.
And what about here?
-1.
-1. All right. Now compare the two. Which one is more work? Quadratic or factoring?
Definitely the factored one.
Yeah. Factor.
Well, actually, I think it's less work.
It is less work. So what you want to do is you want to factor it. And if you get the answers real quick, then do factoring. If you can't figure it out, then you use what? The quadratic formula. Does that make sense? So my point is, don't just go to the quadratic formula because it might be overkill. Okay.
Yeah.
But the quad. Yeah.
With migraines, as it is like from constant working. So
yeah. So you want to try the easy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And if you can get it right away, then go with it. If you can't get it right away, use the quadratic formula. Sort of like if I wanted to dig a hole. Well, I can get a regular shovel and I can dig a hole. And if it digs easily, well, I'll use that shovel. If it's hard, then I get a sledgehammer and start digging a hole. Actually, let's not say digging a hole. How about putting up, making a hole in the wall? You can use a regular hammer or you can get a sledgehammer. But don't get the sledgehammer out if the wall is really easy to break. All right, here's one, and I want you guys to do this one, okay? And I'll do it after you guys try it for a few minutes. Go ahead and do it both ways. Try the factoring first, and then if you can do it, let's see. Let's do 7, 2, 14. Hold on, 7. Okay. Here's a nice, easy one. Hold on, 10, 3, 30. Okay, got it. All right. So go ahead and try to factor it. first, if you can, right? Then do the quadratic formula. All right. So go ahead and try to factor it first. And if you could do the if you could factor it, then just do it. If I had a timer, I could time you guys, see which one's faster. So something multiplies to negative 30, but adds up to 7.
I think I already figured that out.
Okay. So what are they?
10 and negative 3.
So 10 and negative 3.
Like,
That's
is
it?
10,
Yep.
10 times negative 3
Right.
is negative 30, and
Good.
like 10 and negative 3 is 7.
All right. So Travis, what are the x-intercepts, or what are the solutions?
Negative 10 and positive 30.
Nah, it's almost like opposite of what you originally said, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually figured that out without writing it.
Exactly, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to go from here to your mind somewhere, right? And then you go right to where?
Right to the.
That's right. Yeah, that's the goal, right? The goal is for you to be able to do that, okay? Now, if you factored it quickly, would you even bother pulling out your sledgehammer?
No.
No need, right? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah. Notice how I didn't even finish my box because I know it's going to be x squared and x, right? I get a little lazy on that part. Okay. All right.
I was thinking of, I did have a joke in mind based on this thing.
The hammer?
Like if you, the sledgehammer thing. Like if you're trying to destroy a Superman 64 cartridge, like if your hammer's just, like if your standard hammer's good enough for destroying it, you don't need to get a sledgehammer more powerful than a locomotive.
Exactly. Why would you want to destroy your Superman 64 game cartridge?
Well, because of how hated the game is.
All right. The next one I'm going to give you guys is going to be a hard one to factor, but see if you can do it. Ready? All right.
Well, let's see.
Let's see. It's going to be tricky because I'm just making it up. All right. Now, typically, when there's an extra number out here, that's a red flag that it's going to be harder to factor. So this game cartridge is a little harder. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky one, right?
Yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah, so I wouldn't spend too much time factoring it because it's going to be like this, right? And then I have to add up to -5, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know, right? So that has to be 1 and 1, right? 1 times 1 is 1.
Well,
and this, look at this. This does not equal 5, so this is not factorable, right?
Yeah, so it's adding up to 1 and then multiplying into -5.
Exactly. That's not possible to factor, right?
To 1.
Yeah. Not factorable easily or hard. So now let's do the quadratic formula. Opposite of b over double of a plus or minus the square root of b squared. See, I did it in my head a little bit. 4ac all divided by. Now, why did I put 4? Because I already did the work here. I know these two are going to be the same. All right, so how much is 5/4?
How much is 1.25.
Yeah, $1.25. That's your axis of symmetry. All right, here we go. What's 25 minus 8?
25 minus 8, that's 17.
17. Can you get the square root of 17 without a calculator easily?
No.
No. So if you didn't have a calculator, you would be done right here. If you did have a calculator, the square root of 17 is, anybody have Siri available?
I have my calculator.
All right, what's the square root of 17? 4 point what?
Hold on.
I bet you it was like 4.1 or, I'm sorry?
Square root of 17, you
Yeah,
said?
yeah, it's got to be 4 or something because 16 is close.
Around, okay, like just doing an estimate, like around 4.1.
Okay, and then divide that by 4.
1.025.
Okay, and then so then we have to do both of these, right? So the answers are $2.27.5 or 23 cents, give or take. So this problem right here would be a good candidate for quadratic formula. Right? This is a hard game cartridge to break with a regular hammer. But the quadratic formula will bust any game that you have. Even Diamond, Pokemon Diamond Edition.
I don't think that's a thing.
That's a thing? Oh, dang it. It's because diamonds are really hard to break, right? Yeah. By the way, the only way to break a diamond is with another diamond. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Okay. Let's keep on. All right. So it's me and Travis talking and a little bit of Nathan, but everybody else, I know you're listening, so I appreciate you being here. All right. We're only going to go 10 more minutes. Okay. We're going to keep each class short, and Travis will tell me when it's 10 minutes. All right, guys. Here's a quadratic where you wouldn't want to use a quadratic formula. By the way, is it in standard form? Yes. Does it have a C value?
By the way, I've started a 10-minute timer, so.
Yep. So if it has no C, the quadratic formula is too much. Like you don't need it. And here's how you do this. Okay. Ready? You make a 1x2 box. And you don't really have to do this, but after a while you'll see why. You can just do it in your head. By the way, what times what? X times what is negative 5x? So what number am I missing?
Negative 5x.
Yeah. X times what, right here, is this answer?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Cool. Now look, we factored it. So what number can you put in here to make that negative 5 disappear? And this is a trick question. What number can you put in here to make it equal 0? It's so easy.
Equal 0.
Yeah.
0.
0. There you go. So these are the two answers.
1.
Do you see why you wouldn't need the quadratic formula? Let's try another one without a C value. All right. Can somebody give me a quadratic that has no C value? Make it up. Go for it. Come on, timer's going.
And I guess someone else maybe go with that because I think someone else should contribute besides me.
Exactly. I agree with that 1,000%. All right, let's see. Here, I'll threaten people.
Somebody actually turn on their mic.
Okay, all right, Nathan. Go ahead and just type it in. Type in the function that has no C value, but it's got an A and a B. All right, watch this. I think they're typing it right now. Okay. Here we go. 2x squared minus 6x. No C, right? C would be right here normally, right? You can even put plus 0 if you want. There's your C. So quadratic formula? No. So all we got to do is make a box and put both of them in there. And you could put a 2x here and x there. So all we need is this number up here. What number is going to go in here? So 2x times what equals negative 6x?
-3.
-3. Boom. Now you factored it. Look, 2x times x minus 3 equals 0. So what number will go inside of here to cancel out that -3? Okay.
3.
And what number can you go in here to make it equal 0?
0.
0. Do you notice something, Travis? 0 is always going to be an answer.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, 0 is always this x.
Yep.
X and 0.
If no C, 0 is one answer, right? Make sense? Always. You just got to figure out the other one, okay? All right, guys, before time runs out, I'm going to give you one with no B and also tell you that that's also not necessary to use the quadratic formula, okay?
Yeah, we got 5 3/4
okay.
quarters. We got 5 minutes and 1/4 of a minute left.
All right. Can somebody type in the group chat a function that has, in standard form, that has no B? No B. And I'm going to show you why you don't need the quadratic formula.
And you can speak it too if you have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe they're shy. I don't know. Right?
Yeah, true. I seem to be the only one that ever uses face cam.
Me and Travis are non-shy. I take off my camera because I get really close to the computer and I don't know. All right, guys, type in the chat any function that has no B, but it's got an A and C. And I'm going to show you why you don't need the quadratic formula to for that. Come on, participate. It's our last week. I'm going to miss you guys. All right.
Actually, our last week.
Sort of, right? Next week will be our last week. All right, 3x squared plus 12. Look, no B, right? Equals 0. Let's pretend that, right? Ready? You don't need the quadratic formula when it has no B. Just subtract 12. Oh, dang it. Hey, Nathan, let's put a negative here instead because it's going to be no solution, right? That's fine. Let's put plus. Leave it as plus. So you're going to have 3x squared equals negative 12. Now we're going to divide by 3. Then you're going to have something squared equals negative 4. Can you multiply two numbers and get negative? Does that make sense? Because you can't multiply two of the same numbers and get negative. It's impossible, right? Can't do it, right?
Yeah, well, it's like you can't multiply -2 and -2 together. No, can you multiply 2 and 2 together?
Yep, and you're never going to get negative, right? Because they have to be twins, okay? All right. Before my time runs out, and this is, by the way, this is, all right, let's do one last one with no B, but somebody has to type it in there or say it. Otherwise, I'm going to go over my time limit. Just somebody different, not named Nathan. No B. Give me one that's no B. No B. So remember, guys and ladies, I want to prove to you that the quadratic formula is good, but you don't want to use it when it's not necessary, right? It's like it's overkill, right? But it always works, by the way. It will totally work right here. All right. We got 4x squared. I'm going to change it to minus 15. Hold on, so I can get an answer, right? So no B, standard form, yes. No B, oh, perfect. Watch this. It's like old school algebra. Plus 15. Oh, I'm going to change your 15 to 25, Colin, just so we can square root it. Actually, that's not going to work. Hold on, let me think. Let's make it 36. 36. Just to make it like easy to get an answer, right? So it's going to be minus 36. So I'm going to add 36. 36. I'm going to add 36. So we got 4x squared equals 36. Then I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. So I'm going to get x squared equals 9. And what times what is 9?
3.
Yep. And also who else? Or negative 3. Make sense? And that's why when you square root here, you have the plus and minus. You have the positive version and then the negative version. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so my goal for today was to show you the quadratic formula, but I don't want you to like always pull out that sledgehammer, right? You only want to use it when you have A, B, and what?
C.
Yep. And if you couldn't factor it could not easily, is there S or S? I don't even know. Factor. Okay. So if you try to factor it and it's really easy, then factor it. But if you got A, B, and C, and you can't factor it, then use quadratic, right? Then use x equals the square root of this guy. I don't know why I have this memorized. I memorized when I was little, and it stuck with me, and it's not too bad. But this is one of like the principal formulas in math. But I think people overuse it when they could have done it a lot easier. All right, everybody. So that's all for today. So it's just be some notes. Tomorrow I'll just let you guys practice and then use that website that I started the class with. Okay. All right. And if you haven't done your video, make sure to do that. I've been getting really good ones. Okay. Bye. Bye, Travis. Thank you for joining, and thank you, everybody. I appreciate you being here.
Be seen.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.